Hi, I'm Helen Graves. If you're like me, there may be times when it feels like the universe just isn't listening, and that maybe this law of attraction stuff is possibly a bunch of baloney. But you want to believe it, and it makes sense on a spiritual level. So you do the affirmations. You create the vision boards. You think the happy thoughts, and not a lot happens. Your soulmate still hasn't shown up. Your income hasn't skyrocketed. The allergies haven't disappeared. There's only one reason why law of attraction appears not to be working, and that's because you're not using it correctly. That sounds harsh, I know, but think about this analogy. It doesn't matter how high you turn the dial, or what kind of tantrum you throw, or how much you beg or plead or bargain with the universe. That blender is not going to turn on until you plug the cord into the electrical outlet. It can't. Here's the thing. Just like electricity, spiritual laws are always present, always working. What I mean when I say not using it correctly is that when a spiritual principle, in this case law of attraction, appears not to be working, it's because in some way, on some level, we're not allowing it to show up in our life. We don't have our metaphoric plug in the outlet, so no juice is getting through. So, the million-dollar question, how do you allow it? That's an inquiry worthy of an entire training program. But there are three important things for you to know now that are going to help you get yourself plugged in so that you're allowing rather than deflecting. Number one, detach from a specific outcome. Now, it's kind of a balancing act because you want to be clear about what it is you want, and you want to immerse yourself in the feeling of having whatever that is: prosperity, a new relationship, a healthy body. But you don't want to restrict the unbounded good that's available to you by telling the universe exactly how your good is supposed to show up. So you can visualize in specifics to get yourself in that feeling state of prosperity, a new relationship, a healthy body. But refrain from insisting that exactly what you're visualizing is the only way your desired outcome can show up. One thing I like to do to end my visualizations is to say this phrase: this or something better now manifests for the highest good of all concerned. Number two, be vigilant with your thought and your language. Make sure they're not focusing on or expressing lack, limitation, and doubt. We create our experience through our language, both the language we speak out loud and the language we speak internally, our thoughts. The universe always says yes, and what it's saying yes to is the dominant content of our thought, our language. So if you declare on the one hand, I want my soulmate to show up in my life, and then you turn around and gossip with friends about who's cheating on whom, or you see a happy couple and think, all the good ones are taken, or you pass by a mirror and think, oh, I'm too old or fat or whatever, no one's going to want me. The majority of your thought and language are on what you don't want to experience. And because that's where your thought is, and because the universe always says yes, that's what you get more of. And number three, know that it's working in Spirit's time. Practice patience. This is the hardest one for me. I want what I want when I want it. And if I don't get it right away, I usually end up making up all kinds of unhelpful stories about why that is, which of course keeps me from allowing it to flow to me. But you know, you wouldn't plant a seed in your garden and then toss up your hands in frustration or disgust because it didn't sprout the very next morning, right? The seed of your desire, just like the seeds in your garden, will grow when tended with patience and persistence. So to bring it all together, the three elements that are going to make sure the universe is listening to you is to be clear yet unattached to the exact way your desire shows up. to be careful and conscious with your thought and your language, and to know that it's working despite how it may look in outward appearances in this moment. When you change your consciousness, the circumstances have to change as well. That's the spiritual law. Until we connect again, please remember, something wonderful is happening through you.